Hello, welcome to a 60-minute Hatha Yoga practice. Hope you're having a good day. Tonight this will be a gentle opening, a pretty smooth transition, a little bit of activity in the middle and then very relaxing at the end, so hope you enjoy it. Please come to a nice tall seat on your mat and just take a moment to settle in. You can sit on your shin bones like I'm doing or sit onto a block. If you have not practiced with me before, you can follow me on Spotify for playlists if you don't already know that. My Spotify name is Tamara YBR. And also this class will be uploaded to YouTube right after, so you can follow it there as well. I like to use these little intention cards, living peace cards, to find a little bit of extra meaning for our practice. I'll pull one of these cards and read it and try to theme some of the class around that idea, whatever it is. Balance there. And today the card, the intention is strength. So it says, strength is not force or rigidity. It is the combination of the power of self-control, the willingness for transformation, and the wisdom of perspective. So 3 words together: power, willingness, and wisdom. So it's always important to use your strength wisely, whatever it is. And we can bring that idea of strength into the practice. It's not about forcing ourselves into the postures or doing things that aren't good for you. And you don't get stronger by hurting yourself. You actually get stronger by controlling the movements that you make and the choices that you make. So let's bring that idea with us tonight. And actually one of the main tenets of yoga is Sthira Asanam, which means to have both strength and ease in the posture. So see if you can find that balance tonight. Really, you don't know one without the other. So in order to be strong, you also have to know where to be easeful or to let go. Find it together. You can bring your hands onto your thighs, sit up nice and tall, or maybe float the hands to your heart center. Take a moment to let go of your day, maybe a deep breath in through your nose. The eyes can close down as you exhale out your mouth. Another deep breath in through your nose. And to sigh out your mouth, exhale. Find your own personal intention for your practice, maybe along the idea of sthira, that strength, balancing it with sukha or ease. Maybe something else that's meaningful for you, as well as a collective intention, a way to share out the energy of this practice for the greater good. And together we'll unite our energy no matter where you are. Even if you do this later, or you're on your own, or you're with people, we can all tune into this universal vibration. It's always happening, the sound of Om. It's a universal sound that's been in the universe since the beginning, and we can plug ourselves into that vibration by just concentrating and focusing on the breath. And you can make that sound a little bit more emphasized at the end, and this will really help to clear out the mind and relax the nervous system. We'll take a clearing breath first. Inhale through your nose. Sigh out your mouth, exhale. Inhale for Om. Tune yourself in. Another deep breath in. And a full breath out. And bow your mind into the beautiful light of your own heart, staying connected to your intentions and your dedication, to that rippling vibration of Om, peace and harmony. Blink your eyes open if they're closed, release your arms down to your sides, and we'll take ourselves onto the back. So you can start by making your way down slowly. Lie down onto your back, hug your knees into your chest, and hug one palm onto each knee. Take your knees wide and rock yourself gently side to side. Roll out any tension or tightness that might be along the sacrum, Might be along the sides of the spine. And then slowly start to bring yourself back through center. Bring your arms beside your body. And we'll start with some gentle floating bridge poses here and then hold. So bring the arms down alongside your hips so your fingertips are brushing the outer edges of your heels, possibly, might not reach all the way, but contain your feet within the range of your hands. Press down into your feet. On your inhale breath, slowly start to peel the tailbone up, and as the tailbone comes up, start to lift the arms up at the same time. And as you get to the height of your lift, press the back of your hands down. Take one more breath in, lift a little higher, press the arms down. And as you exhale, slowly start to lower hips, lower hands. We'll do this 4 more times. Bring a breath in through your nose as you inhale to rise. Hips lift, arms come up and over the head. And as you exhale, let the hips descend down, palms come down. Nice and slow with the breath. Again, inhale through the nose. 3rd time, lift the hips. Back of the hands, reach behind you, lift at the top. Exhale out the nose, come all the way down. And anytime you like, if you like to sigh out the mouth, you always can. Press down through the feet, especially the inner arches. Start to lift the hips, squeeze the heels energetically, inner thighs energetically toward each other. Exhale to lower down. And this next time we'll hold. On your inhale breath, slowly start to float up. Back of the hands pressing down, hips are lifting. You can stay here, arms can stay where they are if you want to let your arms come under the lower back. Knuckles reaching toward your heels, interlace your hands, squeeze the shoulder blades. 3 deep breaths here. Keep hugging the inner thighs toward each other. Keep lifting the hips up. 2 more deep breaths. Release your hands beside if they're interlaced. Your hands are over your head. Take 1 more breath. And then as you exhale, come all the way down. Give yourself a moment here. Take your feet together, knees wide. Let your arms be open in a cactus shape. Take a couple of breaths in here. Cactusing the arms pushes the center of your chest up. Breathe in and breathe out. And from here, hug your right knee in toward your chest and extend your left legs long. Press out through your left heel, toes curling back toward your face. Hug the right knee out and around your rib cage and back in toward your right shoulder. Pavanamuktasana, wind removing. Keep both your feet active, pressing out through your heels, toes coming back towards you. And stimulating the ascending colon, responsible for digestion, absorption of nutrients. One more deep inhale through your nose. Maybe sigh out the mouth as you exhale, shoulder toward your knee, knee toward shoulder. And then from here, bend your left knee, bring your foot onto the mat, cross your right ankle over the left thigh, and start to hug your left knee in. If it feels enough to keep the foot on the floor, you can. You can hug behind the thigh or in front of the shin bone. Flex your right heel to protect your knee and also to be more active through the hip. Press your right knee away from your right shoulder. Draw the left knee more toward your left shoulder. Supta Kapotasana, supine pigeon. It's really nice to get a hip release. Maybe you've been sitting a lot lately or not as active as usual. Might feel good to draw that left knee more to the left. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. One more deep inhale and exhale. And then release your left foot to the floor. Take your right hand from the inside of your right knee and wrap your right fingertips around the outer edge of your right foot and pull your knee out to the right. This is Ardha Ananda Balasana, half happy baby. So some variations with the legs. Something that sometimes feels nice is to roll to the outer blade of your left foot, or you can extend the left leg straight, or maybe even have it up in the air. So you can figure out maybe even just kind of hovering out in space there a little bit. So see what feels good for your body. Pull the right knee down to the right, past your rib cage toward the right open space beside your right shoulder. See if you can maybe even pull it all the way down to the mat. See what happens to your left leg. It might lift up. Take another 2 breaths here. One more deep inhale. Maybe sigh out your mouth. Signal your hips to relax. And then bring your left knee in towards your chest. Right knee hugs in. Bring your hands onto your shins. Again, rock side to side. Maybe grab your forearms and your elbows across. Now we'll lower our right foot to the floor. Cross your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Start to hug your right knee in toward your chest. Supta Kapotasana. Maybe you hug behind the thigh or in front of the shin bone. If it's enough for you, you can keep your right foot down. Hug that knee in toward your chest and then out toward the right a little bit. You'll feel it more into the left hip. Keep your feet flexed and active. Couple more deep breaths. We'll take the wind removing on the left side in just a moment. And you can release, hug your left knee in toward your chest, extend that right leg. Hug it out and around the rib cage, in toward your left shoulder. This time we're activating the descending colon. So this is for the elimination of waste and toxins from the body. Really nice to do both of these poses, Pavanamuttasana, right and left side, in that order in the morning and in the evening. Make sure your digestive system is balanced. And you can bend that right knee in, reach on the inside of your left knee with your left elbow, and then wrap your left fingertips around the outer edge of your left foot and pull your knee down to that open space to the left of your left shoulder. Decide what to do with your leg, what would feel good. Sometimes it's nice to roll to the outer blade. Maybe let it go straight. Maybe it's up in the sky or just hanging in midair. You can explore that idea of pulling the left knee all the way down to the mat. See what happens with your right leg. It might just float. Couple more breaths. And then rock yourself back onto your sacrum. Take your right knee out to the right and reach for the outer edge of your right foot. Ananda Balasana, full happy baby. Roll your sacrum down to the mat. Let both knees come out wide to the side. This is not accessible for you with both legs. You can always hold behind your thighs. And what might feel good is to rock side to side or straighten out your top leg as you draw the bottom knee down. Let's take 5 deep breaths. For those of you that want to have a more opening, you can extend both legs and roll the sacrum down toward the mat. A few more breaths, 3 breaths. Last deep inhale. And a full exhale. And slowly start to close everything together. Squeeze into the chest. And either roll to your right side and push yourself up to a tabletop, or rock forward and back, hanging on behind your thighs. Might feel really nice to get some big full spine rolls. Then make your way over your ankles and come up to a tabletop position. Feels good. You can sit back onto your toes for a minute, stretch out your feet, come back to tabletop. Spread your fingertips wide underneath your shoulders. Your toes are tucked to begin with. We'll move through 5 rounds of breath here. On your inhale breath, tailbone comes up, tummy down, chest up. As you exhale, untuck the toes, round the spine, draw your hips towards your heels, and keep pulling back until your fingertips are tented. Shoulders are rounding. Inhale, come back onto your palms, tuck your toes. Inhale, your tailbone up, tummy down, chest up. Look up if you like. Exhale, round the spine as you untuck the toes, pull back. And now you can continue through 3 more rounds of breath. It might feel good to turn your fingertips out to the side or all the way back. You have a little bit more limited movement here, but it's a really nice stretch for the forearms and the wrists. 1 more full round of breath, or 2 rounds if you need. Awakening the breath in the body, spinal energy. And then untuck your toes, take your knees wide, and we'll sit back toward our heels, Balasana, child pose. If you need, bring your knees together. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, press your finger pads down and extend through the arms, especially underneath the arms. Take another full breath in. Let your heart and forehead melt down. 1 more here. Inhale. And exhale. And you can walk your hands over to the right side of your mat, pulling your hips back to the left. Maybe place your left hand on your right hand, interweave the fingers, let your arms frame your ears. And feel that lengthening into the left side body and more of a contraction on the right. Keep opening the ribcage as you inhale. And soften into the pose as you exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale. Exhale. And take your time to walk your hands back through center. Keep reaching forward all the way over to the left side. Placing your right hand on top of your left if you can. Let your arms frame your ears. Take 4 deep breaths. You're feeling that expansion of the breath into your right side body. Open up the ribcage as you breathe in. And contracting on the left side as you breathe out. 2 more breaths. Walking your hands back through center. Take 1 more full round of breath, forehead down. And now press into your hands, lift your hips up. Keep your fingertips spread wide, especially pressing into the finger pads. Tuck your toes. Keep your feet hip distance apart, especially pressing into the thumb and index finger. Create some stability here and see if you can draw the eye of the elbows more inward and even forward. And as your toes are touched, start to hover your knees and push your hips back and up behind you, like you're trying to press to where the ceiling might meet the wall. And then from here, with your knees bent and your belly on your thighs, drop your gaze down between your inner thighs. Keep pulling the hips back and up. Knees are bent a lot. Belly right onto the thighs. Get that full extension from your finger pads right to your hips. Take 1 more inhale here. Stay for your exhale. And now on your inhale, start to straighten your legs. And as you exhale, press your heels down toward the mat. And you might not reach your heels, that's fine. From here, stay for a few breaths or start to pedal out your heels right and left, right and left. So as you're pedaling out right and left, really working into the hamstrings, into the hips, back of the kneecaps, the Achilles tendons, all up and down the legs, and all the while that beautiful connection through your finger pads. Take a couple more deep breaths here. Find that sigh or exhale out the mouth. It feels so good. Last full breath. Slowly start to lower down onto your knees. Keep your hips over top of your knees and walk your arms all the way forward to the top of your mat. And you can let your forehead come down. This is a variation of Anahatasana, heart melting pose. Let the heart melt, forehead pressing down onto the mat. You can also put a block if you like under your forehead. You're welcome to stay here or bend your elbows, bring your palms together like you're going to clap your hands, and then bring the thumbs to the nape of your neck. And keep walking those elbows forward, keep pulling the hips back and up. So this is a really nice variation of downward facing dog, either with the arms extended or the thumbs behind your neck. If at any time you're in downward dog and you feel like you just need a break, either come to tabletop, child pose, or this posture right here. Take 2 more deep breaths here, your variation of Anahatasana. And release your arms. Pull yourself up back into that tabletop position, palms under your shoulders. And keep your toes tucked. On your inhale breath, sweep your right arm up to the sky. We'll take a shoulder opener here. Slide your right arm underneath your left. Bend your left elbow as much as you need to get the shoulder down. And if you can't get down there without support, you can always use a block or a pillow for your head. And you're welcome to stay with your palm in front of your face for support, or some options are to extend the arm forward as we did in Anahatasana, or spiral your left hand behind and see if you can hook your fingers around the top of your right thigh and press the back of your right hand down to roll your shoulder up even more. You can stay here if you want a little bit of core engagement. Start to slide that left leg back behind you, keeping your toes tucked and on the mat. You might feel a little bit of wobbles and wiggles there. Try to hold on by creating a strong core. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Open up that top shoulder. Maybe you're even looking up. Roll to more to the back of your head if you can. 2 more breaths. Bring your hand back underneath your face for support. Or in front of your face, slide your knee in. On your inhale breath, reach your right arm up. Exhale, bring your right palm down. And let's go to the other side. Inhale, left arm sweeps up. Exhale, thread that left arm underneath your right arm. Bend your arm as much as you need. You can use a block here underneath your head if you need as you turn your gaze toward the right. You can stay right here or extend your right palm forward. This really nice stretch for the shoulder. Or lift that right arm up and around. Maybe you spiral that hand to your sacrum or all the way around to the left thigh. You can hook the fingers in there maybe. Press the back of your left hand down. See if you can roll even more open to the side of your head. Maybe look up. Stabilize the core. Stay here. Or start to slide your right leg back, keeping the toes tucked. Outer right hip rolling down. Maybe look up. Let's hold here for 3 more breaths. As you're ready to release, right hand comes back in front of your face. Slide your knee in. Inhale, lift your arm up. Inhale. Exhale, palms down. And let's walk the hands back again, forward, to the top of our mat. Tuck your toes, lift your hips back in that Adho Mukha Svanasana. And from here, find that connection between strength and ease. Sukha Sthira. Can you press more into your finger pads? Can you lift up through your hips and spread the shoulders away from each other? Find ease in this posture, and if it's not there for you, please lower to child pose or tabletop or Anahatasana, heart melting. If you like a vinyasa in your practice, we'll have 3 more breaths here. Feel free to take that. And vinyasa means you'll ripple forward, high plank pose. You'll exhale to lower to the belly. You'll lift your heart for a back bend cobra or upward dog. Make your way back to downward dog. And all of us in downward dog, take a deep breath in. Feel the strength of your breath. Exhale. On your next inhale breath, step your right foot forward and slide your right thumb. Lower your back knee down and slide it as far back as you can. Maybe pat it up if you need. Feel free to have blocks underneath your hands as you lift your chest. Anjaneyasana. You can stay here or reach your arms up to the sky. Pulling your outer right hip back, left thigh forward. If it feels okay for you, your staple here, you can untuck your back toes and use the top of your left foot to help stabilize you in the posture, but you might feel more stable with your toes tucked. Flip your left palm up, wrap your right fingers around your left wrist. You can inhale to lengthen, lift your heart. As you exhale, a little side bend to the right side. Keep your chin away from your chest, a little bit of arch back of the ears. Take another deep breath in here. Stay for your exhale. On your inhale, come through center, cactus your arms, lift your heart. Tip your elbows forward, fingertips back. Take an inhale. Stay for your exhale. And now inhale your arms straight up to the sky. As you exhale, palms possibly to blocks or to the mat. Take one more inhale, lunge forward. And now as you exhale, pull your hips back until your right leg is straight. And you want to keep your left hip over top of your knee, Ardha Hanumanasana. Welcome to stay here as you like. If you want to go further, you can deeper into the posture by wiggling your right heel a little bit more forward. Sometimes it feels good to put a block under your right thigh as well. Feel that stretch into the front of your right leg. And focusing on this idea that strength doesn't come from forcing yourself into the posture, but being easeful in the posture and letting the posture come naturally. It might take time. Last deep inhale and long exhale. And slide your left knee in as much as you need to plant that right foot down. Bring your palms underneath your shoulders, tuck your back toes, lift the knee up. On your inhale breath, sweep your right leg up, three-legged dog, and you can stack your right hip open over your left, bend your knee and drop your foot behind you. Option to flip over if you like into Wild Thing. Option even to take a vinyasa or just holding here for a few more deep breaths. You can always lower the foot down, maybe even make some hip circles. And choose your variation, what brings you the greatest strength and the greatest ease. Last round of breath, inhale and exhale. And then coming back to a regular downward dog. Deep breath in and a long breath out. And we'll step that left foot forward. Lower the back knee down, slide it as far back as you can. Again, feel free to use blocks. Untuck your toes if you feel stable. Left hip pulling back, right thigh pushing down. You can inhale here or reach your arms up to the sky. Flip your right wrist palm up this time, wrapping your right wrist with your left fingers. You can inhale to lengthen, up and over to the left side. Keep your chin away from the chest so the ears are just arching back a little bit more. And inhale through center, find a back bend, cactus your arms, tilt your elbows forward, fingertips back, lift the center of your heart. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. And inhale your arms straight up, use blocks if you like underneath your palms. Lengthen your chest forward and up. As you exhale, pull the hips back until your front leg is straight, making sure that your right knee is underneath your right hip. Feel free to stay. If you want to go a little bit further forward, you can. It also might feel good to bring the blocks closer to your hips, or maybe placing a block underneath your left thigh. So we'll hold here for 5 breaths. Take any variations, any supports you need, finding both that combination of strength, Sthira, and ease, Sukha. Last round of breath, inhale and exhale. And release slowly out of the pose. Take your time to walk your back knee in enough. Plant your left foot down, palms under your shoulders, tuck your back toes and lift that right knee up. As you're ready, three-legged dog.
And take your variation. You start by stacking your hip, bend your knee, let your foot drop behind you to the right side. Either some hip circles, flipping the dog over, or vinyasa. Combination of all those things for the next few breaths. And coming back into downward dog, take a big breath in and a full breath out. And slowly start to walk your hands toward the back of your mat. Bend your knees generously. Wrap your hands around your opposite elbows. Let your forehead come toward your shins. Soften and fold. A variation of Uttanasana, forward fold. Try to bring more weight into your toes. Let your chin come in toward your chest. Maybe rock side to side, drawing your right elbow over to the right, left elbow over to the right. And then find stillness in the center. You can relax your arms down. If you want to hold behind your calves, you can, or any variation. Take 3 more breaths. Try to bring more weight to the toes, even if your knees are bent. And feel free to use a block if you need. Bring your right hand underneath your face. It might be on a block. Bend your right knee generously. Left hand to your left hip. Start to turn and twist and look up toward the left. Stay right here, or you can lift your left arm up to the sky and reach with your fingertips, or spin your palm around and spiral the back of the hand like we've done to the back of the right thigh, and maybe you can wiggle your fingers on top of that thigh. Take a few deep breaths here, bending your right knee a lot, left leg straightens, really nice stretch for the back of the thigh, the hip, the spine, chest, the shoulder. 1 more breath. And unwind yourself. Come back through center, Ardha Uttanasana, palms to your shins. Lengthen your chest forward. Create a nice flat back. Shoulders draw away from the ears. Take 1 more breath here. Lengthen from your tailbone to your crown. Straight arms and legs. Exhale to fold. And this time bring your left palm underneath your face. Generously bend your left knee. Bring your right hand to your right hip and start to turn and twist and look up to the right. You can feel that stretch all the way down the back of your right leg. And as you start to turn and twist the spine and look up, the right shoulder starts to spiral open. Maybe you can reach your right arm up, fingertips straight up to the sky, like we might do in Trikonasana, triangle pose. Then flip your palm around, bring your hand to the outer left thigh, and maybe you can wiggle your fingertips to the top of the thigh. And get that little body to turn and twist a little deeper. 3 deep breaths here. Beautiful. And spiral yourself halfway lift again. Ardha Uttanasana. Lengthen, chest forward. And fold. Now soften your knees a lot. Ragdoll up 1 vertebra at a time. Press down into your feet for that strong foundation. Slowly bring yourself all the way up to standing and take a moment to roll your shoulders back and down. Find Tadasana, mountain pose. It's not often a pose that we spend a lot of time in, but it's such a powerful pose. To me, this pose represents strength. Foundation through the feet, grounding down into the earth at the same time lifting up toward the sky. There's a toning of the belly, of the legs. Ears are drawing back, shoulders back. Side body's long. Mountain. What I like about this pose is the sense of presence, that everything in your life has led you to stand here in this moment, all of it together. That represents strength.
Moment of gratitude for that. And then bring your hands onto your hips. You can bring your big toes together to touch if you like. Coming into Vrikshasana, tree pose. So find a point to focus on for your balance, your drishti, your gaze will be kind of like an anchor right here in this moment. Find that anchor point, come down deeply into your right foot, start to lengthen and strengthen that leg like we just had, that very straight leg and one knee bent. Same idea here. And then lift your right knee up until your thigh is parallel to the floor. Turn your knee open. You can stay here if this is enough for you. You might want to tap your toes down, slide your foot below the knee just to the inside of the shin, or maybe all the way up inside of the thigh. And if sometimes connecting the foot is hard, you can keep it open. That's fine too, more of a dancing Shiva variation. You press the foot into the leg. Bring your palms into your heart center. Keep concentrating and focusing on that one point. You can play with this posture. You can open up your branches. Reach out wide to the far corners of the room or up toward the sky. Draw the tailbone under. Keep the belly strong. Maybe you start to look up. Maybe even find a little bit of a back bend. Maybe you close your eyes. Wherever you are, stay connected to the strength of this posture, which is your roots, your foundation. And at the same time, that bold lifting up of the heart. Take 2 more breaths here. It's okay if you fall out, you get back in. You bring your gaze back through center, knee to chest, and step it down. You can shimmy your hips and legs a few times. And coming into the other side, foundation, the strength, the pillar of this posture. Root down into your right foot. Lift your left heel up and turn your knee out. Let's bring the knee up first and then turn it out. And you can stay in this variation. It might be okay for you if pushing your foot into your leg is challenging. Maybe you slide your toes down to the base and then upwards slowly, making that connection to the inside of the right thigh. And then press the foot and leg together wherever they are if you're in this variation. If you're here in this more open dancing Shiva variation, it's no problem. Hands to your heart, broaden across the chest, and feel the strength pulling up from the earth. Our roots give us that strong foundation. Start to play with your posture any way that feels good, opening up your branches. Maybe you take your gaze from your drishti upward. Urdhva drishti, looking up. Maybe you start to arch back. Maybe you even play with closing your eyes. Take a few more deep breaths here. Find that combination of sukha and sthira. So sukha, the ease. Where can you find ease here? But the strength, the sthira. Keeping you grounded. One more deep breath in. A full breath out. Bringing the hands back, drishti back. Bringing the knee up and all the way down. Give yourself a little shimmy. And then we'll turn to the left side of the mat. I'm just going to stay turned to this other mat I have here, but turn to your left and take a big step out in both directions. So you're facing the long edge of your mat and your feet are wide. Make your feet parallel. You can open up your arms and check that your wrists and your heels are about the same distance apart. Inhale, lift your chest up, hands to hips. As you exhale, begin to fold. You can catch yourself halfway down, palms under your shoulders. Use blocks if you need. Take an inhale to lengthen, maybe come to fingertips. As you exhale, fold. Let the crown of your head come down, hips lifting up, and you can soften your knees if you need. Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Now from here, you have a lot of options. You can walk your hands further back in line with your feet and attempt to pull the crown of your head down by pressing into your hands and pulling the hips up as the crown lowers. Maybe you take your tented fingertips back behind you, reaching away from your body with your fingertips and pull the crown down. Maybe you take a grip outside of your feet or reach forward. You focus on what is helping you right now to stay in that zone of
balance between strength and ease, focusing on your own intention. For me, this feels really good right now to reach my palms forward with that wide-legged downward dog. Wherever you are in your variation, take 3 more breaths. Last deep inhale. And a long exhale. And now come halfway up again, fingertips under your shoulders. Turn your right foot out to the right and line up your front heel with your back arch, and your left toes will turn slightly in as if they were pointing straight ahead to the long edge of the mat, and now they'll just curl slightly forward toward the top left corner. Bend your right knee a lot and bring your hands on either side of your front foot. So you're setting yourself up for Virabhadrasana 2. Outer right hip pulling back. Inner left thigh spiraling open. Front heel to back arch alignment. And then as you're ready, reach your arms forward and lean your chest over your thigh. There's strong foundation in the feet here. Take another inhale breath, reach forward even more. And as you exhale, stand yourself up. Virabhadrasana 2. We'll hold here in just a moment, but for now, let's get a little bit of opening in the hip. Straighten your front leg, reach your palms up until they touch. Exhale back to that warrior 2 stance, Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale back into the foundation for Trikonasana. Exhale back to warrior 2. One more time, inhale. And exhale, and now we'll hold here, a few deep breaths here, Virabhadrasana 2. Try to wiggle your front toes forward, knee over the ankle, extend your fingertips in opposite directions, keep your chest open. Take 3 more deep breaths. Your drishti down your front fingertips. And your inhale breath, straighten your front leg. Exalted Trikonasana. Reach your top arm up and over your ear. Exhale as you press the palm down. Inhale back through center. Heel toe your back foot in just a little bit, a shorter stance. If you need, reach forward over your front thigh and then pivot the arms. Now we'll find Trikonasana pose. Hold here for 5 breaths. Feel free to use a block under your right hand. Can be on the inside or outside of your right foot if you need. Try to keep your chest lifting, crown of the head turning toward the front big toe. Maybe looking up at your top hand. This is a beautiful place to get that example of Sthira and Sukha. Can you find the strength to hold the posture, but some ease in the posture? 2 more breaths. Beautiful. Soften into your right knee. Stand up. Hands to your hips. Turn your toes to the long edge of your mat. Walk, step, or hop your feet together. And turn forward. And then all the way around to the right side of your mat. And now step your feet far apart, as wide as your wrists. Parallel your feet, hands to hips. On your inhale breath, lift your chest. And as you exhale, fold forward. Prasarita Padottanasana. Come to a halfway lift as you inhale. And again, choose your own variation here, what works for you. I personally, I love this variation of the arms extended forward, but if you're working on trying to get the crown of the head down, I personally recommend pressing your hands into the mat, bend your elbows, and use that as a little bit of strength to help get the crown of the head down. So you decide in this moment what's best for your body, what gives you that sensation of strength and ease. Where can you hold the pose and still find stillness? Couple more deep breaths. You might have taken a different variation than the ones I showed. That's fine, as long as it works for you. Last deep inhale. And exhale. And come back to that halfway lift. Turn your left toes to the front of the mat. Angle your right toes slightly in. Bend your left knee a lot, so it's right over top of the ankle, and line up your front heel and back arch. So we often do these standing poses from the top down. It's much more challenging to get them from the base up. I really encourage this to get that good alignment and the strength and foundation of the feet. And then reach forward over your front thigh. This is a powerful posture here. This is where you get a lot of strength. Pull your outer left hip back, right thigh rolling down. One more breath. And then peel your right arm back. Deepen into your left knee. Try to wiggle your toes forward. Virabhasana 2, Warrior 2. We'll come back to this in a moment. On your inhale breath, release that front leg. Open your hip. Exhale back to Warrior 2. A few more times. Inhale. And exhale. Move with the breath. Inhale. And exhale. And we'll do one more. Inhale. And exhale. And hold here, Warrior 2, for a few breaths. Outer left hip tucking under, inner right thigh rolling open your drishti down your front fingertips, and finding the strength for this posture through your foundation, through your feet. Beautiful. Straighten your front leg, reach your top arm up and back. Viparita Trikonasana, exalt to triangle. Reach up as you inhale. Exhale, push the hand down. Inhale back through center. Keep your arms where they are, but maybe heel toe your back foot in. Step or two. Hinge forward over the front thigh. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Left fingertips might be in a block, inside of your left foot or outside. Try not to sink down. So keep that lifting up by pulling up with strength through your right fingertips. Left fingertips can be lightly touching or hovering, but try not to grip your shin to hold yourself here. The strength comes from up top, not from your bottom hand. The bottom hand should be buoyant and light. Outer left hip tucking under, inner right thigh rolling open. Just 2 more breaths. Maybe look up. As you're ready, soften into your front knee. Stand yourself all the way up. Hands to your hips. Walk, step, or hop your feet together. Turn to the front of your mat. And we'll step right to the top if you're not there already. We'll take a very slow vinyasa. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky just to flush out any energy. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, plant your palms, step your right and left foot back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale, ripple forward. Exhale to lower to your belly. Take a back bend, cobra, or upward facing dog, or Dvamukha Svanasana, making your way back to downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, and a full breath out. And take your right leg up to the sky and step your right foot forward. Left leg lifts up and step it forward and come into Malasana. So feet on the outside of your hands. Bring your elbows to the inner knees. Pressing your palms together, lift your heart. And if this is too much for you, you can always come down onto your seat and bring the soles of your feet together and have a seated butterfly pose. If you're somebody that likes to do a little bit of hand balancing, you want to go for a little crow pose, you can. I won't offer it today, but it's there for you. Take a few deep breaths here, lifting up through the center of the heart, opening up the inner thighs. You're welcome to stay here. If you want to come with me for a little twist, take your left fingertips out to the left, reach your right arm up, spiral your hand back around behind you. Maybe your left fingertips meet your right. And open up your chest. You can do this also from the seated position, just a little bit less intensity. If you're going through crow pose, maybe you take a vinyasa. We'll meet back here and you can join us for the twist. Unwind yourself,
Come back through center. Right fingertips out to the right. Left arm reaches up and back. Spiral your hands around back behind you if you can. Find the bind. Open your chest, or take it less intense by just keeping the arms open. A few deep breaths. Unwind yourself. Hands come back to the heart, and we'll slowly make our way down onto our seat. So use your hands if you need, or slowly sit down. Gather your knees in toward your chest. Extend your legs straight. Take an inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. As you exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale to release, Paschimottanasana. Now you're welcome to stay here, adding on one more twist. Take your right hand to the outside edge of your left foot and reach your left arm back. This is really nice variation. If you want to come up higher, you can. And maybe even rock back enough onto the sacrum that you get a little core work. Point or flex your right toes and lift that right leg up and maybe look back. Try to hold here for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. We'll go to the other side. You might still be holding Paschimottanasana. You can have this twist. Left hand to the outside of your right foot, or pull back into this variation of Navasana boat pose. You can point or flex your left foot. Try to lift your chest. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you're in Paschimottanasana, take one more inhale. Fold and exhale. Slowly roll yourself all the way up. Bring your feet onto the mat and shift your hips forward. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come all the way down onto your back. We'll take a couple of back bends here. So we started with little bridge pose. You're welcome to repeat that. Or a supported bridge. You'll bring a block underneath your sacrum. And we'll have 3 back bends. So you're welcome to take any combination of those two, or Urdhva Dhanurasana. You'll press your palms up to the ceiling, bring your hands beside your ears, and come up into a back bend. So you can start with that if you like, or I'll teach with starting with little bridge pose. Arms beside your body, so tuck your heels in to the width of your hands. Your hands are right beside your hips. On your inhale breath, lift your hips up, and you can come to the variation we did at the beginning if you like. Back of the hands down, lifting up with the hips, or let the hands come underneath the spine. Interlace your palms, knuckles toward your heels. Keep pressing in, especially the inner edges of your feet. Lift your hips higher. If you've gone to Urdhva Dhanurasana, try to press up from the crown all the way up. Let's take 3 more breaths. Magnetizing those knees toward each other if you're in either of the poses. You're ready to come down, come to the crown. First from Urdhva Dhanurasana, release your hands from little bridge pose all the way down. Let your feet come together, knees out wide. One hand on your heart, one hand on your belly for a deep breath in. And a full breath out. Close your knees back together. Second back bend, little bridge pose, or Urdhva Dhanurasana. So I'll speak to Urdhva Dhanurasana. Pressing the hands up to the ceiling, hands beside your ears. Make sure your knees and feet are pretty close together because they do tend to fall open. So you want to start with them pretty close. Lift the hips up, press into your hands, come to the crown of your head. And if you're in little bridge pose, lift your hips up. You can interlace your palms or bring your hands back behind you. For Urdhva Dhanurasana, press into your feet and hands and try to straighten your limbs. Magnetize your inner thighs toward each other. Take your gaze back toward your heels. Whichever pose you're in, try to hold for 3 more deep breaths. Magnetizing those knees inward. Keep the knees and hips aligned. Inner edges of your feet pressing down. Last round of breath. When you're ready to release, come onto the crown and then all the way down.
Release your hands out to the side. This time let your feet come wide, inner knees touch. Hand on your belly, hand on your heart. Breathe in. And breathe out. Okay, we'll have one more back bend. So you set yourself up either little bridge pose, supported bridge, or Urdhva Dhanurasana. Let's hold in the back bend of your choice for 8 deep breaths. So concentrate and focus and find that combination of strength and ease. So when you're ready, get yourself into the back bend. If you're going for Urdhva Dhanurasana, come onto the crown first and then push up. For a little bridge pose, maybe you interlace the hands behind the lower back. About 6 more deep breaths. Last couple of breaths. See if you can come up a little bit higher. If you're in little bridge pose, release your hands, lift your hips for one more breath. If you're in Urdhva Dhanurasana, come down to the crown and then release slowly down. Again, we'll step our feet wide, inner knees touch. If you like, you can lift up your hips, put your palms underneath your hips if you need a release, or hands onto the heart and belly, breathe into your hands. From here, open up your arms in a cactus shape and windshield wiper your knees to the left. Let them separate, feet are wide, knees are wide, and then to the right. A couple times each side. The next time your knees are all the way to the left, you can keep them there. Maybe widen your right foot more to the right. If this is too much for your back, stack your knees together and find a gentle twist. Otherwise, keep the feet and knees wide apart. Maybe even lift up your left ankle, put it on your right thigh, and look to the right. Try to work your inner right knee down to the mat. Take 3 deep breaths here. And bringing your gaze back through center. Unbind your legs, lift your hips through center, windshield wiper a couple times, side to side. And then when you're ready, knees all the way to the right, feet and knees are wide. Wiggle your left foot more to the left. Unless you want to stack your knees together, that's fine too. If your feet and knees are apart, maybe you lift your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Turn and gaze to the left. 3 deep breaths. Last breath. And bring your gaze back through center, unbind your legs, windshield wiper a few times side to side. And then slowly start to hug your knees in toward your chest. You can come to Apanasana, hugging your knees in, maybe one ankle or one palm on each knee, rocking side to side. You're welcome to stay here if it feels good and make your way into a resting pose, Shavasana. If you want to go a little bit further, you can lift your legs and arms up to the ceiling and roll out your ankles and wrists. You're welcome to stay here, or maybe take Happy Baby as we started, or maybe you take a few breaths in plow pose, picking your feet, knees, and hips over your head, and finding some kind of gentle inversion. So you might even have different practice. If you have Shirshasana A in your practice, maybe you move to a wall or on your mat. Try to take about 10 breaths in any of those. So either just resting, Apanasana, maybe you've gone right to Shavasana. You can have the legs up, Viparita Karani, Happy Baby. Plow pose is really nice at the end of a practice. And I want to thank you for spending this time with me for this Hatha practice. And I hope that you found that
connection to your own strength and balance with ease. Sthira Asanam, strength and ease in the postures. When you're ready to come down out of your inversion, again, you can hug your knees into your chest. Come down slowly, especially if you're in headstand or in plow pose. And take any last posture that feels good to you, and then set yourself up for a very relaxing Shavasana. You want your legs and arms to be completely relaxed. Maybe you put even blocks or some cushions underneath your thighs. As you lie down, this gives a nice elevation for the legs and helps the back to relax more. Come back to your intention, your dedication for your practice. Take a deep, clearing breath in through your nose. A big sigh out your mouth, exhale. If you like, join me for one beautiful Om, and then let yourself deepen into Shavasana. Deep, cleansing breath in. Full breath out. Inhale for Om. Allow yourself to soften completely, relax completely. Enjoy as much time as you can here in Shavasana. Namaste.